Sustainable Cities by Abby Squire. As a result of climate change, cities need to adapt and become sustainable by reducing waste, converting to clean energy, and promoting agriculture. Climate change is the change in climate patterns from increased levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide. This is likely from the production of fossil fuels, using fertilizers that contain nitrogen, and deforestation. The increase in heat affects the weather patterns, ocean conditions, natural habitats, and human life. The effects of climate change has caused the cryosphere to melt, and sea levels are rising. Oceans are getting hotter, more acidic, and weather is getting more extreme. Arctic animal habitats are vanishing, shellfish and coral are suffering, and forests are more likely to get deadly infestation and are subject to deforestation. And you can see the evidence in both of these photos. Scientists have already documented that climate change is affecting humans' daily life. The warmer, polluted air affects our health. It can trigger asthma attacks, irritate lungs, causes deaths from heat waves, and can even contaminate drinking water. Climate change is a serious threat to agriculture, and farmers are having a hard time adapting with the changing weather patterns and water supply issues. The extreme weather has also affected infrastructure and transportation. And you can see the thick smog in this city. Urbanization is the most transformative trend in the world, and as the trend rises, so does the need for cities to become sustainable and adapt to the rapidly growing urban population. This graph shows how much the urban population has grown over the years, which is a lot. Cities contribute to climate change. Cities are actually responsible for 70% of global waste and consume almost 80% of the world's energy. Because of this, they contribute more than 60% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. And while living in urban areas can be beneficial for transportation, lifestyle, and infrastructure purposes, they can have many negative effects, like disturbing green spaces, natural resources, and producing a major source of food waste that reflects directly on the environment. This increases the overall risk for urban communities to climate change. So how can cities become sustainable? They can increase green spaces, which promotes a healthy lifestyle and environment. Promoting and preserving urban agriculture can minimize the amount of CO2 emitted into the atmosphere. Managing and reducing waste can protect the local environment along with creating job opportunities. And converting to clean energy is another way for cities to become sustainable because it produces no greenhouse gas emissions, which reduces air pollution. Increasing green spaces promotes a healthy environment and lifestyles. They improve air quality while also reducing urban temperatures and heat waves. They also help absorb excess rainwater, which reduces the risk of flooding, and has the ability to store carbon that would otherwise end up in the atmosphere. We can promote and preserve urban agriculture by creating green roofs and protecting agriculture land. Green roofs are great for compact city areas. They provide shade and reduce the temperature of the roof and surrounding area. Living roofs can reduce energy costs and absorb excess stormwater runoff. They are great for reducing atmospheric CO2. Food transportation can be transformed by protecting agricultural land in urban areas. This shortens the supply chain, which minimizes the CO2 emitted into the atmosphere. This also helps the local supply chain and provides more jobs. Cities can manage and reduce waste by offering better recycling and composting options for residents. This can create new jobs, lowers pickup costs, captures carbon, and promotes the local environment. Cities should try to set a zero waste goal to help curb the urban waste generation. This chart explains the best ways to achieve zero waste. The 3 R's of waste are reducing, reusing, and recycling. There are great ways to manage waste responsibly and keep materials out of the landfill. It saves natural resources that are needed to produce raw materials and manufacture our products. Reduce means to decrease the amount of waste generated. So, use less resources to start with, like buying products that include less packaging. Reuse. Find ways to use items that would otherwise be trash. Use items more than once, rather than throwing them away, like using an old spaghetti sauce jar for storage. Recycle. Transform something old into something new. Many companies have started using recycled materials to craft their products. Clean energy produces no greenhouse gas emissions and reduces air pollution. Converting to clean energy reduces cities' dependence on imported fuels, which can create more jobs and better economic development. This graph shows what types of clean energy were popular around the United States in 2015. So it looks like there's quite a bit of solar, biomass, geothermal, hydropower, wind, and CSP. These are the most popular types of clean energy. Solar energy uses photovoltaic cells to convert sun rays into electricity. Wind energy is produced by air movement, which is typically placed in a windy area. Hydro energy is similar to wind energy because its electricity is produced by turbines in moving water. Tidal energy uses ocean energy during the rise and fall of tides. It works very similar to a wind turbine. Some cities are already on the right path, like Amsterdam, Stockholm, and Vancouver. Amsterdam is known as a cycling city and actually has more bikes than it does residents. For those who don't bike, electric cars are very easy to use and they assist local farmers so that residents can have organic, fresh food. Stockholm was the first city to receive the European Green Capital Award. They stride in environmental planning and have a goal to use zero fuel by 2050, which would make it one of the cleanest cities in the world. Vancouver has the lowest carbon footprint in North America. They support cyclists by providing many paths and encourage people to use electric cars. These cities set great examples, and their success should encourage others to do the same. So, cities can take these steps to cut emissions, reduce waste, and become sustainable. Here are some interactive links that were pretty beneficial for me. There's a Forest Watch map, air pollution, sustainability development, and renewable energy. And here are my sources.